The confusion, or fog as I call it, is my main problem. It's almost like the processor in my brain is struggling to process the information coming in. When my head is really confused, it feels like it's going to burst. Somebody asked me once years ago, what's it like to have dementia? And I said, well, for me, it's like being very drunk. You just can't focus your brain properly. I'm Mary McKinley. I'm 67 years old, and I was diagnosed at the age of 61 with early onset Alzheimer's. I first recognized it when I was still working in a government office in Belleville, and I would have been 57. And I could go into work one morning and not remember how to turn on the typewriter or the computer to do my word processing. And that was after getting ready for work and driving to work. And so by then my brain had done enough and it couldn't function normally. And one morning I couldn't remember how to put my denture in my mouth. And I realized then that there was more going on than just senior moments or whatever, and it was time to see a doctor. From the MRI and SPECT scans, they're seeing that I have abnormal brain shrinkage, and it's in the frontal lobes. One of the things I started doing early on was playing computer games to keep my brain exercised, and somebody introduced me to the world of Pogo. Well, when you first go to Pogo, you have to register, and unfortunately every Mary I could think of was taken. So I started checking out, and sure enough, nobody had the name Demented Lady. And so in Pogo, if you ever see Demented Lady, say hi, because that's me. They started this one, I think this is the fifth one. They started this one, and it's designed for people with dementia and their care partners. I've been asked to be a keynote speaker. I will be speaking about how I've made changes in my life to make things work well for me with my changing brain. I'm still able to do all the meal preparations. I do have to be extra careful when using a knife though, because my one-tracked brain is focused on cutting and not on whether my fingers are out of the way of the knife. In the kitchen, there is often, I would be making a cake or whatever, and I would measure out the cup of flour, and I would pour it into the sink. If you're starting to forget things, not where you put the keys, but where to stick the key when you get in the car. That happened to me. These aren't normal things. Like, I know everybody forgets where they put their keys, or they find they've put something in the fridge and it should have been on the counter. And I think as we age, we all tend to do things like that. But if you or your spouse notices that you forget 5 minutes later that you've just had a conversation and actually spoke to each other about something, and 5 minutes later you ask the same question and your spouse says, wait, what's going on here? I think then it's time to go and see your doctor. I don't think I'm afraid. Jim knows that when I'm no longer able to take care of my personal cleanliness, etc., that I would like to go to a nursing home where I've got trained staff to look after me, and hopefully he'll just come and visit me there. I know from what I'm reading that eventually I won't know my family, and that's too bad. That's sad, but this is the disease. and I'm just very happy for the days I've got now.